up guys, it's Jordan from TeasersBooks, and today I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up. I apologize in advance for the quality of this video. I couldn't get my really good camera to work, so I'm using my really old camcorder. Also, I can't attach the light to the top, so if the lighting's bad, I also apologize. So yeah, this is my very late April wrap-up. I'm very sorry I haven't filmed it. I've been really busy with school and other things going on. So yeah, I read 7 books in the month of April, so let's get started. The first book I read was The Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I highly enjoyed this book, and I cannot wait for the third book. But did you see the cover changes? Like, what is this? They're already ugly to begin with. Why would you just change them into even uglier covers on the last book? The last book drove me crazy when I saw that post. I was so mad. I was really impressed that this book kept up to the pace of the first book, and I can't wait to see how it ends. Probably want her to end up with Roth because he's just more interesting. Like, I don't even remember the other guy's name. Zane is really boring. So, yeah. They're both really hot though, so you know, they're fun to read about both. The next book I read was The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, and I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I read this book for school for an ISU, an independent study, and I was really impressed by it. I wasn't sure if I would like it or not going in, but I had it on my shelf and it was one of the books on the list, so I decided to go for it. I think it was a very interesting book to read. I think it's very strong of the author to write about a topic like this, especially after she went through what had happened, in the form of rape. I have to write an essay about this book, so I might not like it by the end of that, but my first impressions of finishing the book were very good. The third book I read, which I received for review from my local bookstore, was Gloria O'Brien's History of the Future by A.S. King. I read this book near the beginning of the month, and I was very intrigued by it. I didn't know what it would be about, but I saw it was kind of a feminist story, and I didn't know if it would just be throwing the topic at you, so I didn't know if I would really like that, but I was pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting it to go the way it did. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't my favorite book, but it was still an interesting read, and it was kind of interesting because you got to see what happened after the book already ended during the book. So if you're one of those people who always wants a bit more, then I'd definitely read this book. The fourth book I read in the month of April was The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the second book in the Raven Cycle quartet. I really enjoyed this book. I do think I liked the Raven Boys better just because I would rather focus on Blue and Gansey than Ronan, even though he is a very interesting character. I thought the magic and mythology in this book was incredible. I'm still very confused about what is happening so far, but you know, it's a very cool kind of book and series, and I'm starting to get used to her writing now, so I find it easier to read her book. The next book I read, I also read for school, and it was 1984 by George Orwell. Picture here. I did not like this book. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars, I think. Yep, 1 out of 5 stars. I did not like this book at all. I thought it was very poorly written. It was very boring. Nothing really happened. I felt like the whole middle half of the book was not relevant at all, and I thought the ending wasn't very good. I know people who love this book, so I'm sorry, it's just my personal opinion. Maybe because I read it for school I didn't enjoy it as much, but I just really didn't appreciate this book. Can you do? The next book I read was Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the third book in the Raven Cycle quartet. I loved this book. It was my favorite of the 3 so far. I found it so gripping. It was a lot easier to get into this book, and I really loved the romance building between Blue and Gansey. I can't wait to see what happens in the last book, which I think comes out in September, but I heard the other day that it might have been pushed back, which really upsets me because I wanted to catch up, and now that I'm caught up, I have to wait. Life is hard sometimes, guys. I gave this and The Dream Thieves 4 out of 5 stars, by the way. And the last book I read in the month of April, I actually finished on the very last day, and it was Maybe Someday Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. This was my first Colleen Hoover book. I don't have the book on me because I lent it out to a friend immediately after I finished it. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I loved the different way they communicate in this book. I was not expecting that, and when my friend told me they communicated in a weird way, I just thought, okay, maybe it's like a text message kind of thing, because that's normally what books do, but it was like that, but in a completely different way. If you read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. I Can't wait to read more of Colleen Hoover's works. Actually, I already have in May already. I just love her writing, and I love how easy it is to fall into her characters and fall into her books. If you haven't read any Colleen Hoover books, I suggest that you try them because everyone loves them, I think. Like, they're really easy to read. So that's it for my April wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to be getting more videos up soon. I know I say that every time. You can follow me on my Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and my blog. I'll put the links down below. Thanks for watching, and keep on reading, guys!